Minnesota Vikings are traveling to Dallas on Sunday Night Football to take on the Cowboys in a big-time Week 15 matchup. So coming up on today's edition of Vikings Now by Chat Sports, we're going to be diving into the latest Vikings Cowboys injury news and getting into a full in-depth preview for this matchup. But if you guys want the Vikings to beat the Cowboys this weekend on Sunday night, big-time stage, the bright lights of Dallas, Sunday Night Football, it's going to be a very exciting game. So if you guys want the Vikings to beat the Cowboys, go down there, hit that thumbs up icon for me. Let's see if we can get 200 likes on today's show. All right, let's start off here with the Cowboys injury report. It's a lengthy one, but they're probably going to be damn near fully healthy in this matchup. Now, they got one of their offensive linemen, Tyler Guyton, dealing with an ankle injury. Malik Hooker wasn't on the practice field this week dealing with a personal injury, but he should be good to go. Jadeveon Clowney, TBD, dealing with a hamstring. Trayvon Diggs dealing with a knee. Jake Ferguson with a calf. CeeDee Lamb, he was a full participant on Thursday, so he should be ready to go. Javon Ravel Jr. dealing with a knee. Big fan of him coming out of the draft, I will say. I think I also got Donovan Wilson listed as well. But the Vikings injury report, it looked like a damn grocery list on Wednesday. It had about 35 names, it looked like. And it got a little better on Thursday, but still, Jordan Addison, back-to-back days, limited with an Achilles injury. That's not good. Ty Chandler should be good to go. Christian Darrisaw probably won't be good to go. I would assume the Vikings will have Justin Skule at left tackle, and Christian Darrisaw will take this game off, which is unfortunate as he's still dealing with that knee injury. Then you had T.J. Hockenson with the shin. T.J. Hockenson, he finally makes a guy miss, and he's on the injury report DNP with a shin injury. It's just classic T.J. and how he's kind of been playing the last couple of years. But Donovan Jackson, ankle limited, was full on Thursday. But some other guys, Theo Jackson was limited with a neck. Aaron Jones, he was back to full on Thursday, but he was limited on Wednesday with a shoulder injury. Josh Metellus, shoulder as well. Levi Drake Rodriguez, he ended up being a full participant on Thursday doing with that neck injury. But, if you guys are concerned about, the injury reports being this big, it's just that time of the year. I mean, most of these teams, honestly, on Wednesday are starting to just do walkthrough practices at this time of the year. Like, everybody's beat up. Everybody's playing through injuries. Like, it is just a long, grueling NFL season. I mean, these guys are putting their bodies on the line. So it is just that time of the year where injuries are really starting to pile up. But in terms of the Vikings this weekend, like, you really do need Christian Darrisaw and Donovan Jackson. Number one, obviously, to protect your young quarterback, J.J. McCarthy, on the big-time stage against the Dallas Cowboys. But also, if you want to try to run the football, that's the best way to do it. Or if you're trying to beat the Cowboys defense, it's going to be trying to run the football with that young quarterback on the road. So having number 71 and 74 will be huge. Probably not going to have Christian Darrisaw, but you probably will have Donovan Jackson. So that's at least somewhat good news for the Minnesota Vikings. But you guys drop your score predictions down below in the comments section. The Vikings are taking on the Dallas Cowboys this weekend. I haven't given a score prediction in a couple weeks since the Vikings have been playing some meaningless games, and I've been doing a lot of previews. I think the Cowboys probably get the best of them in this one. I'll go 27-24 in favor of Dallas will be my score prediction here. But if you guys disagree with me, let me know your thoughts down below. All right, we'll talk about this matchup and dive into some of the top matchups to watch here in just a second. But today's episode is brought to you guys by Prize Picks. Now, it is the holiday season and the best time of year for sports. You got bowl games, basketball and football matchups, playoff pushes. It is all happening at once. And when you and I are out here making decisions every day, what gifts to buy, what to eat, which game to watch, there's one place where it feels good to be right, and that is Prize Picks. And if you guys download the Prize Picks app today and just plug in that promo code, CLNS will hook you guys up with $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Now, Prize Picks has a new feature called Early Payout. So if your lineup gets off to a hot start, you may now have the option to cash out those winnings before the game even finishes. Prize Picks, it's super simple to play. All you got to do is pick more or less on at least two players' stats. And if you guys get your picks right, you could cash in. So get in on the action. Prize Picks is now available in 45 states, including California, Texas, Florida, and Georgia. So download the Prize Picks app today. Plug in that promo code CLNS to get $50 in lineups. After you play your first $5 lineup, that's promo code CLNS to get $50 in lineups. After you play your first $5 lineup. But shout out to Prize Picks for sponsoring today's show. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. All right, let's talk about the Cowboys-Vikings game this weekend. Going to be a fun game, I will say, even though the Vikings season is a disaster. Anytime you're playing Dallas on Sunday night, it should be a lot of fun. And the top matchup I'm looking forward to is the Vikings defense taking on Dak Prescott and this explosive Cowboys offense. They're at the top of the league in explosive plays, not only on through the air, but also on the ground. They have one of the better running offenses in the league. And I think what's going to be key this week is the Vikings in terms of their blitz rate against Dak Prescott. So the Vikings right now this season actually blitz more than any other team in the National Football League. They have a blitz rate of 49.2%, which also a couple weeks ago, this was around 41%. The Vikings have been blitzing at an all-time rate over the last couple of weeks, and they are now most in the NFL, and it's 8% higher. Who's in second place? And it's the third most in the next-gen stats era. So Brian Flores, he is throwing back that playbook to the 2023 season where he felt like the talent level defensively wasn't good enough. So he's just sending the house. Now, Dak's been good against the blitz in his NFL career, but still, if you can just generate easy pressures, get Dak Prescott flustered early, like this defense, even though this team has been a disaster, like that defense can still play some high-level football. I know, like Schottenheimer and that crew, they're telling their guys, like, hey, I understand the Vikings are 5-8. It's not been a good year, but that side of the football with Brian Flores, that's still an elite unit in the NFL. So I'm curious to see how those two sides of the ball match up. And then from the Viking side of things, can you run the football? Because, listen, you're going into a hostile environment. I bet you there will be a lot of purple in the stadium. But if you want to quiet the noise, you want to kind of shut everybody up a little bit on Sunday night, you got to run the football, help out your young quarterback. Now, you may be saying, well, there's no way the Vikings can run the ball since the Cowboys have been so good against the run since they got Quinnen Williams, which is somewhat true, but they're still about middle of the pack in terms of stopping the run. The last 4 games with Quinnen Williams, 75 carries, 318 yards, averaging 4.2 yards per clip against them, 4 touchdowns over the last 4 games, and the success rate is 38.5%, and the EPA per play is in the negative. So they have been a whole lot better. Like, they have been much better than what they were before the Quinnen Williams trade, but still not like they're one of the top units in the league. Like, the Jacksonville Jaguars right now are the top defense in the league in terms of stopping the run. Comes down to, one, can KOC get the run game going against Dallas? I think that's going to be massive in this game because if you're in 3rd and 8s, 3rd and 9s consistently, like J.J. McCarthy is probably going to crumble on this stage. So you got to help him out. Get that run game going. Have a similar game plan like you did against the Washington Commanders. We're running the football. You're spreading it out wide, getting easy looks for a young quarterback. And that's also number 3 of what to watch from the Viking side of things is J.J. McCarthy. It's a big-time spot for him. Like, hey, J.J., you were great against Washington. You had the 3rd highest passer rating in the league. Okay, let's build off it. Because could you imagine how we're feeling about J.J. if he has back-to-back good games? Like, we're feeling pretty good about him. Like, if he can just stack what he did against Washington, parlay it into a good game against Dallas, parlay that into a good game against New York, it could really change how we're viewing J.J. McCarthy heading into this offseason. Because if he has another game against Dallas, like he did against the Packers, like he did against the Bears, like we're probably talking quarterbacks the whole offseason long here on this channel. And, number 4 here, the Justin Jefferson impact. You got to get this guy the football. If the Vikings want any chance to win this game, it is going to be on the back of Justin Jefferson. And, I think Justin Jefferson, he is obviously one of the better receivers in the league. And he should have an advantageous spot here against Dallas. Now, Deron Bland, one of the most up and down corners in the league. He's definitely having a bad year this year. He's way better in man coverage compared to zone. But he's still getting up the 4th most yards not per game in the entire NFL this season, giving up 615. Now, obviously, zone, he's a lot better in man compared to zone. But he does give up some explosive plays in zone coverage. So number 18, he's going to have a day against Dallas. There's no doubt about it. Anytime you're going on the road, get your best player of the football. Like, anytime Jefferson steps on the football field, like, he will be one of the better players on there. And I still think this weekend he's going to be the best player out there on the field. So get him the football. But in terms of the other wide receivers on the other side of the field, like the Vikings CBs, it's going to be a tough matchup. Byron Murphy Jr., Isaiah Rodgers, they have not had good seasons. I mean, that Byron Murphy contract's looking like a real doozy right now for the Vikings front office. And you're going up against, in my opinion, the second best wide receiver duo in the National Football League. Now, George Pickens, he had a down game against the Detroit Lions, but most of the year he has been absolutely awesome. He has looked like a bona fide top 12 wide receiver in the league, and obviously CeeDee Lamb, still a top 5 receiver in the league. So you got that combination out there on the perimeter. Cowboys offense is tough to stop. I will say I'll still give the nod to Puka and Devontae Adams in Los Angeles as the best duo in the league, but I mean, these guys can go toe-to-toe with just about anybody, and they're going to be a definite problem for the Minnesota Vikings this weekend. But I'll ask you guys this. Are you guys team tank or are you guys team win? Do you guys want the Vikings to win or lose this Sunday? Give me a W for win, going to be an L for lose. Let me know your guys' thoughts down below in the comments section. We'll get on out of here. As always, Skol Vikes.